Good morning, everybody, from Belgrade, Serbia. I am once again at Republic Square, and I thought we would take a walk today to the Parliament building. It's a nice park over at the Parliament, and plus you will be able to get to see the city streets of Belgrade as we take this walk. So let's get rolling, and let's talk about some news as well. And we are going to have to talk a little bit about Taiwan and Pelosi. That's going to probably be our clown world. Pelosi's statements about Taiwan. And we're going to talk about the gas turbine, of course, because that story just doesn't go away. And what else should we discuss? Oh, and Elensky. Why not? Let's talk a little bit about Elensky and some new statements coming out of the king of Kiev. So let's begin with Taiwan. And so the PR media hype surrounding Pelosi, tracking her flight and all of this stuff has now ended. She went to Seoul. And the leaders of South Korea didn't even have time to meet with her. They were like, "We're not meeting with you, Nancy. We've got other stuff going on." I believe the president or one of the high-level officials was actually not even in Seoul. So Nancy just kind of went there to, I don't know, maybe get a couple of drinks or something. Who knows? But now that all the hype is over, Pelosi was in Taiwan, lining up her next stock market trades. Right? She's getting ready to make some big moves in the semiconductor field. Not financial advice, but if you really want to do well for yourself, just follow Nancy Pelosi's stock trades. Not financial advice. But now that she's out of there and the hype has died down, it looks like we're getting the first indications that China is starting to make some moves with regards to Taiwan. The thing that I was thinking about this morning was that obviously China is not looking or is not in a position for a conflict with the United States. I think that's clear. And I don't think anyone wants that. I don't want that. I don't think no one in the world really wants to see a conflict between China and the United States, except maybe the crazy neocons and Anthony Blinken. But what China does want is to get Taiwan back, and the Chinese have now realized that, check out this crossing. This is like a crossing that you'll see in Tokyo, you know. It's got like the four different crosswalks, and it's got the crosswalk right in the middle as well that cuts right through. I think that's such an interesting crosswalk. And now China has realized that, you know what? The United States is going to definitely recognize Taiwan. It's coming. They see the writing on the wall. So what the Chinese are going to do is they're going to accelerate their timeline. I believe they're going to accelerate their timeline as to how to go about bringing Taiwan back into the fold. And so what we're going to see in the next weeks or months is what I think will be the diplomatic and economic kind of, for lack of a better word, pain dial being turned up on Taiwan. Alexander and Brian at the New Atlas, they make some great points with regards to China and Taiwan, in that China doesn't need to do anything militarily to Taiwan. What they need to do is to just take economic measures, because the Taiwanese economy is completely dependent on China. And so they don't really need to take any military action with regards to Taiwan, any type of invasion or surrounding of the island or anything like that. All they need to do is to just start to implement various economic and trade measures. And if they do that over time, the Taiwanese are going to get the message. And there are a lot of people in Taiwan who don't want to see a breaking off of relations with China. There are a lot of people in Taiwan who aren't on the side of let's integrate into the American sphere of influence. You always have to keep that in mind as well. So what we're going to see in the next couple of weeks with regards to Taiwan and over the next couple of months, I think, is going to be, you're going to have military exercises. Yeah, China's going to flex their muscle, but I think you're going to see a lot of economic and diplomatic work being put in place in Taiwan to bring them back to their senses, so to speak, for lack of a better word. And the hype, the media spin, the U.S. got it for a day or two. Nancy Pelosi got it for a day or two. She's going to make the trades that she needs to make. She'll probably pocket another 5-10 million from the trades, and that'll be that. The medium to long-term strategic debacle of this endeavor is going to be lasting for a long time. And as I said in my video yesterday, China is, if the collective West thought that they had a chance of bringing China to their side, that's been completely smashed. That's over. That is completely over. That's been destroyed. And the big winner in all of this is the fair world order and Russia. China is now going to look to Russia. Russia's going to tell the Chinese, you see what they did to us in Ukraine, they're going to do to you guys in Taiwan. We told you so. That's going to be the conversation between Putin and Xi. It's going to be, I tried to tell you, Xi. I was trying to tell you this is what they're going to do to you. Now you saw it. And Xi's going to say, yeah. He's going to say, you're right, Vladimir. You're 100% right. I should have listened. So that's going to be the outcome of all of this. And since we're talking about China, let's talk about Elensky, just so we all understand how deluded the Elensky regime is, and how deluded the collective West is, because Elensky doesn't make any moves without the approval of Newland and Blinken and Sullivan and his puppeteer handlers. And I was going to say, and his puppeteer handlers and Pelosi. I'm sure Pelosi's one of Elensky's puppeteer handlers. So I'm here at the parliament. It wasn't a long walk. I thought it was going to be more like a 15, 20-minute walk, but it was quite fast. So Elensky came out and he gave an interview to the Sunday Morning Post, I believe, was his interview. One sec. Let me pull it up here. Let's see. Ukrainian President Vladimir Zelensky said on Thursday that he would like to speak directly with Chinese leader Xi Jinping in an interview that he gave with the South China Morning Post. So in an exclusive interview with the South China Morning Post, Elensky noted that he had not spoken to Xi Jinping, the Chinese leader, since the start of Russia's military offensive in Ukraine, and Zelensky would like to get in touch with Xi. A day after all of this stuff goes down, all of this Nancy Pelosi stuff happens, a day after Elensky gives an interview, and he says, I really want to talk to Xi because because I want to move China away from Russia. That was literally what Elensky was saying in this interview. No self-awareness, completely delusional. And you know that the Pelosi's and the Sullivans and the Blinkens and all of these guys in the swamp, they greenlit this. They said, yeah, that's cool, Elensky. Do that interview and try to get a phone call with Xi. Like, hey, we've created all of this fuss around Taiwan. We've actively gone out of our way to try and humiliate the Chinese. And 24 hours later, we want you, Elensky, our little clown puppet, to ask for a meeting with Xi. As if the Chinese don't know that Elensky is completely puppeted by the very same people that came up with this Pelosi trip. They know it. They know who puppeteers Elensky, and they know that it's the same group of people, including Pelosi, who decided to come up with this Taiwan provocation. So Elensky, here's the Parliament building. So it looks like they're fixing stuff up, new sidewalks. I'm down with that. I'm a sidewalk guy. I like those nice big sidewalks to walk on. And it's a beautiful building. Beautiful park right there across the way. And I actually believe the president's residence is on the other side of that park. Let's go across the street to the park over there. And that's how we'll finish out the video. It's a hot day in Belgrade. Really hot. Reminds me of Athens. So Elensky said, and I quote, I would like to talk directly to Xi, is what he's saying. I had one conversation with President Xi Jinping. That was a year ago. Since the beginning of the large-scale aggression on February 24th, we have asked officially for a conversation, but we haven't had any conversation with China, even though I believe that would be helpful. Elensky said that he wants to see China redefine its stance on Russia, but understands why Beijing is seeking a balanced approach. Quote, this is a war in our territory. They, Russia, came to invade. China, as a big and powerful country, could come down and put the Russian Federation in a certain place. Of course, I would really like China to review its attitudes towards the Russian Federation. Elensky believes that China has the means to make Russia stop its offensive. I'm sure that without the Chinese market for the Russian Federation, Russia would be feeling complete economic isolation. That's something that China can do to limit the trade with Russia until the war is over. Gotta hand it to these guys. Gotta hand it to these guys. They feel no shame. They don't, nothing humiliates them. Nothing, it's just, yeah, let's provoke you one day, and then the next day let's talk to you and see if you can come to our side. So I said in the opening of the video that the only thing that this Pelosi trip has done is to push China closer to Russia. And obviously, the Elensky regime thinks differently. They think that this Pelosi trip is going to push China closer to the collective West. And this Pelosi trip is going to make China ditch Russia. I don't quite understand their logic in all of this. Maybe Elensky on his part was engaging in too much of that white powdery substance. And he decided to give this interview. Anyway, I thought that was an interesting topic. It kind of answers the question. Everyone always wonders, are these people in the collective West, are the Sullivans and the Blinkens and the Pelosis and the Elenskys and all of these people, the Vander Crazies, are they that incompetent? Are they that delusional? Are they that out of touch? When I read news stories like this, I say, yeah, they're that delusional, they're that out of touch, they're that, what's the word, narcissistic, they're narcissists, hubris, ego, masters of the universe. Absolutely. These are the types of people that are running the collective West, and these are the type of people that are running Elensky. Just completely out of touch with reality. So I'll leave it there. I won't go on. I won't ramble any further. I think everyone gets the picture as to the craziness of Elensky's plea to speak with Russia and with Xi, and to speak with China and with Xi, and to try to move China away from Russia. One day after Pelosi took the trip that she took. So we will now talk about the gas turbine, because this channel has been covering the gas turbine like no other YouTube channel out there. I never thought I would be talking about gas turbines, that's for sure. So much. I've become a gas turbine expert. But Olaf Scholz, he went to inspect the gas turbine, because Olaf Scholz is indeed a gas turbine expert. And he went with his entourage and Siemens. And here's the video of Olaf Scholz inspecting the gas turbine that now, I guess, has to get delivered to Russia.
Guten Morgen.
That was Olaf Scholz inspecting the gas turbine that has to go to the Portovaya compressor station, if I understand correctly. And I still don't know if this is the first turbine or the second turbine. I really have no idea which turbine is this. Or is there a third turbine somewhere that needs repair? Anyway, the first thing I think of when Olaf Scholz is taking a look at this turbine is, what the hell are you doing, man? Send this thing to Russia. What is it? You're traveling to this turbine factory so you could get a photo op of yourself in front of a turbine? Dude, your country's gonna freeze. Your country is going to freeze. Bloomberg said 3 months. I don't understand why you're not FedExing this turbine to Gazprom. I mean, get on the phone with UPS and get this damn turbine to Gazprom, like ASAP. But man, what a cloud world this has become. But Gazprom came out with some statements, and they said, you know what? This turbine, it ain't happening. The sanctions, all of this stuff has really complicated the situation, and we just don't see this turbine issue ever getting fixed. Man, what a mess. What a mess. Western sanctions make it impossible to properly return a turbine for the Nord Stream 1 gas pipeline from Russia to Germany, Russian energy giant Gazprom claimed on Wednesday. The missing equipment has been the key reason for supply cuts. Siemens Energy CEO Christian Bruch earlier said the German company had fulfilled all conditions for sending the repaired turbine back to Russia. According to Bruch, the company is extremely interested in advancing the process and blamed missing documents from the Russian side for the delay. Quote, the sanctions regimes of Canada, the EU, and the UK, and the inconsistency of the current situation with the current contractual obligations on the part of Siemens make the delivery of the 073 engine to the Portavaya compressor station impossible, Gazprom said on Wednesday. German Chancellor Scholz visited the Siemens plant in Mulheim and Duran on Tuesday and inspected the Nord Stream turbine located there. According to Scholz, the turbine is ready for operation and could be sent to Russia. Send it. What is it? The turbine was waiting there for Olaf Scholz to come by and give it his stamp of approval. Is that what this was all about? But anyway, it looks like Gazprom is playing around, and they're saying, you know what? All of this documentation stuff and this going back and forth, it ain't happening. That's what I'm reading. I mean, Gazprom in their statement, at least what I've got here, they don't really give any real reasons. Like, they're not getting into detail. But I'm sure they've probably given some detailed explanation to Germany. But in this statement, they're not really getting into detail as to why they're not able to take delivery of the turbine. They're just saying sanctions between Canada, the EU, and the UK, and the inconsistency of the current situation with the contractual obligations just kind of makes it, in business terms, a pain in the ass to deal with you guys. That's basically what Gazprom is saying. We're sick and tired of you. It's been, what, 3 months now that this has been going on? 2 months? We're tired of it. We've moved on. You're at 20%. Maybe you'll go down to 10% when the next turbine breaks, or 5%. But we've just got no more appetite in dealing with you guys. That's what I read into the statement. That's what I read. I read Gazprom saying we don't want to do business with you anymore. Plain and simple. We don't want to do business with you anymore. We're done. And that's not good for Germany. Boy, did they really mess this one up. Boy, did they really mess this one up. And all they have to show for it now is Olaf Scholz going to the Siemens turbine factory in some media PR stunt to prove to the German people, hey, look, the turbine is ready, everybody, so it's not our fault, it's the Russians' fault. You think that the businesses in Germany, the customers that are going to be freezing over the winter, the people of Germany that are going to have to pay God knows how much more in energy on their energy bill, you think they care, Olaf, about your little PR stunts going to the factory and trying to make it seem like the turbine is okay, but it's the Russians that won't take it? Is that the angle that you're going to play? You're just going to blame Putin once again for this? When you had two to 3 months going back and forth with Trudeau. Do I have to do the Trudeau impersonation? Do I have to do the Trudeau voice? 2 to 3 months you had going back and forth with Trudeau to get this damn pipeline to Gazprom. And at the end of the day, Gazprom just said, we're tired. We don't want to deal with you. And that happens in business, to be quite honest. That happens. You know, sometimes you have a customer and you're just like, you know, I'm just tired of dealing with you. I've been dealing with you for 2-3 months. We've been going back and forth. You have a customer, you have a supplier, I don't know, you know, something like that in business. And you're just like, you know, I'm done with you. I'm going to move on. That's what Gazprom is saying here. Now, things can change, and maybe Gazprom, maybe Putin will tell Gazprom, look, okay, let's get this turbine back, guys. Enough. We've squeezed them enough. Maybe sanctions will get rolled back. Maybe Germany will come to its senses, and they'll stop sending weapons to Ukraine, or they'll roll back some sanctions, in which case the Kremlin can tell Gazprom, okay, now you can do business with Germany, or you can get this turbine back in place. But until something like that happens, this situation is not going to be resolved. That turbine is going to stay exactly where you see it, in that Siemens plant. That is what Gazprom is saying, plain and simple. What a freaking disaster. And that was the reason for the video that I showed. Unfortunately, Germany is becoming like the United States. The German leadership and the government thinks that they can be like the United States and just engage in cheap media PR tactics to explain away the problems that they've created. That was the reason for Olaf Scholz visiting the turbine plant, turbine factory. So he can show the German people that here it is, here's this beautiful turbine, it's ready, it's fixed. But oh, those evil Russians, those Russians are so evil, they won't take the turbine back now. And that is why you're going to pay 10 times more for your heating. That is why your businesses are going to close. That is why we're going to deindustrialize, because this beautiful fixed turbine is unable to go back to Russia because Gazprom won't accept it. So it's not our fault. It's not my fault. It's not Habeck's fault. It's not Annalina's fault. It's the Russians' fault. That was the reason for the video. So let's do 2 clown worlds, and I do believe this is the president's residence. Everyone watching in Serbia, let me know if I'm wrong, but I do believe that's the residence. Actually, let's walk a little more down the city streets. So for like the next 5 minutes as I do my clown world, so we can see some more of the busy streets of Belgrade, which is a city, by the way, which is like 24 hours a day, nonstop, working. I mean, this city does not sleep. It is 24 hours open. And let's do 2 clown worlds. And the first clown world is coming from Spain. Man, Spain is starting to make a lot of clown worlds. And this is coming from the Sanchez government. And I did a clown world, I think like 2 days ago, where I talked about how Sanchez had figured out a way to deal with with saving energy during this heat wave, this summer heat wave. And his solution was for people to not wear a tie. That was how you could lower your air condition costs. Don't wear a tie? Problem fixed. We're sticking it to Putin, right? Anyway, they now have another plan as to how to deal with the increased energy costs. The Spanish government will reportedly issue huge fines for non-compliance with energy restrictions, prompted by the ongoing energy crisis in Europe. So the Spanish government, whoa, a lot of construction going on there. Let's cross the street. Stay with me for a while. This video may be a little longer, but we're going on a little walk, so that's why it may last a little longer here. But there's construction going on over there, so we're going to cross the street on the other side. Let's see. The Spanish government announced a set of measures on Tuesday aimed at reducing electricity consumption by businesses, citing a real risk of natural gas shortage during the coming winter. So they went from don't wear a tie. Just 2 days ago, the message was don't wear a tie. And now the message is that you're going to be fined. Businesses are going to be fined upwards of 60,000 euros. 60,000, what did I just say? 60,000 euros. What the hell's a Europe? 60,000 euros. And a maximum of 600,000 euros if they break these energy guidelines. All right, so it's noisy. They are building new sidewalks. That is exactly what they're doing. But we'll get through this. 1 sec. 1 second. No, I actually think that the Sava is a straight shot that way, if I'm not mistaken. I'll take everybody there. Maybe tomorrow we'll go to the to Saint Sava down that way. But so the Spanish government is saying that businesses, one of the conditions are that businesses can't lower the air conditioning under 27 degrees, and they've put all kinds of other conditions in place. And if you break those conditions, you get fined 60,000 to 600,000 euros. Yeah, that is a clown world. Oh, by the way, going back to the energy story, Schroeder, the former Chancellor Schroeder, who was in Russia, who was in Moscow. I'm not sure if he met with Putin, because he used to be really good friends with Putin, but he came out with a statement just the other day, and he said, there's an easy way to fix the energy problems that we have. He said, Nord Stream 2 is ready. That was his solution. The simplest solution would be to put the Nord Stream 2 pipeline into operation. If things get really tight, there is this pipeline, and with both Nord Stream pipelines, there would be no supply problems for German industry and German households. That was Schroeder's brilliant plan. Which, yeah, absolutely. You could just activate Nord Stream 2. That would work. And so from Spain, let's do our second clown world. And this time we are going to go full circle back to Taiwan and to Nancy Pelosi, and a comment that she made as to why Beijing was so upset with her trip. And according to Pelosi, the reason why the Chinese were upset with her trip to Taiwan is because she's a woman. It's because she's a woman. That is what she said. And I quote here that they are angry, the Chinese are angry, because Pelosi's a woman, and according to Pelosi, they didn't say anything when the men came, a reference to the fact that in April, U.S. Senators Lindsey Graham, Bob Menendez, Richard Burr, and Ben Sasse, Rob Portman, and Ronnie Jackson visited Taiwan. That was what Pelosi said. They didn't say anything when men came to Taiwan. So not only did Nancy Pelosi also cause World War III, but she is now playing the victim. She's virtue signaling now on top of it. She's going to make a nice profit from her stock trades. And she managed to insult an entire superpower, and she's the victim. And the Chinese are upset because she's a woman. That's why they were so upset. That's why all of the military drills has nothing to do with the provocation, has nothing to do with the fact that she's third in line to be president, and you already have a Joe Biden who's on his way out, which would make Pelosi second in line, and the Kamala Harris, who's not fit to be president, which would make Pelosi president. It has nothing to do with any of that stuff. It has nothing to do with the fact that the Chinese called Biden's bluff, and they know that it was the Biden White House that pushed Pelosi to go to Taiwan, that greenlit Pelosi's trip to Taiwan, even though the Biden White House said, no, it wasn't us. It has nothing to do with that. It has to do with the fact that she's a woman. It has nothing to do with the fact that this was an official state visit. She used U.S. government resources, all of that stuff. Nope. It is because Nancy Pelosi is a woman. In other words, going back to Greek history, Nancy Pelosi is very much like the Helen of Troy. She's like the beautiful Helen of Troy, for which wars were fought. That's Nancy Pelosi. She is our modern day Helen. She is the woman for which a great war, a great battle will be fought. Oh yeah, yeah. So I've given you all quite a good tour. I think we've done a good walk today because now I'm at the buildings that NATO bombed, and Belgrade has. I mean, they've preserved these buildings. They've kept them the way they are from the NATO bombings, and so we've come all the way down here. You can see the buildings. I'm not sure. I think one of them is like the Ministry of Communications, and another one may be Commerce or something like that. People in the comments will let me know. But they've kept them like this so that Serbia and the people of Belgrade, they never forget. And I guess we've come full circle because who can forget the fact that NATO actually bombed the Chinese embassy as well. So this video's kind of brought it all full circle in a way, hasn't it? I didn't think about that. But I will leave it there, everybody. Thank you for staying with me. If you managed to stay with me to the end of this video, we did quite a nice long walk through the streets of Belgrade. We saw construction. We saw everyone going to work, maybe taking their lunch break or a coffee break or a breakfast break, whatever they want to take. And it's a really hot day, beautiful summer day here. Check out Alexander's channel. Check out the Duran's channel, theduran.locals.com. Please hit that like button, and I will catch you on the next video. Take care.